Welcome back to All About Love. I'm Caitlin. We've got Carly Ann here with us as well. And today we are going to be giving you a quick fire episode, simple habits that will change your bloody love life. And this is whether you are dating or whether you are in a relationship. These are going to be habits that will elevate how you're feeling, what you're doing, and the relationships that you have with yourself and others. And I do think we often want to improve our love life, like how we show up, how we react, how we feel, how we're able to live in the moment. But I think it can be quite hard to do this, and it can be quite hard to build these habits because it can feel quite like abstract. But we really, really do want to get to a point where we're happy in our relationships, we're happy within ourselves, we're happy within our lives. And I think no matter like where you are in your relationship or where you are in your life, there are always things we can do to improve how we're feeling. And that's what I love about this topic, because it does like really spill over into everyday life and things.
Yeah, that's what I love about it as well. It's like when I was thinking about the actual habits that have helped me, or that in general we're going to be sharing today, they are just so good for your general well-being, your mental health, and why would we not want more of that? And that itself, how we feel within ourselves, has a natural effect on our relationships, the kind of vibe that we give off, I don't know, just that like
Yeah,
frequency,
like who
know?
you like you know, being somebody that people want to be around, like whether you are like in friendships or you're dating, like you know when you go on a date with somebody and there's that energy there, and like you're like, oh, I spent an hour with that person, I feel really good. Or like when you're in a relationship and you're not like going through the kind of mundane stuff, like you're actually bouncing off each other and creating, like a space you both want to be in. It's amazing.
Yeah, and the thing is about this, and I think this is the route that we're really going down, especially with this episode, is that there are simple things that you can do to glow up, to kind of get that sparkle from the inside out. Because that, I think that's something that you and I have in common, right? That's what we're really passionate about, is how can we feel better on the inside, and that then has this natural impact, natural influence on our relationships, the risks that we take. I was speaking to someone recently who's done both done courses with both of us and follows us both on Instagram. And I was saying to them, "Oh my God, you've done so much already." And they were like, "Yeah, it's because you and Caitlin talk about like saying yes, getting out of your comfort zone, like trying things." And literally just changing, if you listen to the things that she's changed, they would sound simple on paper,
Yeah.
but they're not, they're huge.
Yeah, I love that. And I have a client who just finished with, but she again, we haven't been actually working on the external stuff. That hasn't been about the dating. This has just been about her. And somebody said to her the other day, "You are glowing. Like, what have you done?" And she was like, "Nothing physical, just
Yeah.
working like on me, building things that make me feel really good."
Yeah. And we have to get really honest sometimes and be
Mm.
like, we have our eye so much on the big outcome that we want, the big thing that we want to reach, that big goal. And I'm all for that. I absolutely want a vision. But if our habits, our daily habits, are not aligned with that, or they are habits that actually make us feel miserable, because lots of habits do that,
Mhm.
then it's going to be harder to get to that big goal, and it's going to be a slog to get there.
1,000%. Even like with business, right? Like I know the days where I don't do like my little habits and ground and center and direct my day, are the days where I feel like, oh, what's the point? Haven't done anything. We're kind of not acting in alignment, and it's just that tiny tweak, isn't it? Should we just get straight onto the tips?
Get straight in there.
Okay, do you want to start?
Yeah, okay, I will. So, okay, the first habit is to do something that has the intention of giving yourself respect,
Mm.
love, care. And if that so happens to also be that you can offer that to someone else, I think that's an absolute double bonus. We're really looking here at kindness towards yourself. I want to make that really clear, but and others. That's always going to be a bonus because when your cup is full, as they say, and you're showing yourself more compassion, we know. I think that there's enough evidence now when it comes to kindness and compassion that it makes you feel better.
Mm.
Like, it is good for our mental health, it's good for our well-being, it's good for just making us want to do things, like giving us more energy, and that itself is going to, exactly like we were just saying, it's gonna change our frequency. You have to make the decision to do that thing. You have
Mm.
to make the decision to do that 5-minute thing. I'm saying 5 minutes each day, but that's just because I wanna keep it with that simplicity. But of course, it doesn't have to be 5 minutes. But if you are open to giving to yourself, giving to others, and just taking that approach, I'm almost certain it's gonna have a positive influence.
Have you got any examples of like what they could be doing in that 5 minutes?
This
Like,
so this is where I really think that you have to experiment and you need to, like, get on Google and literally look at, like, self-love, self-care, because you're already gonna have an idea of
mm,
what works for you and what doesn't. But honestly, it could be that we're talking about get in the shower.
okay, yeah,
The self-loving thing here might be that you're laying in bed feeling like crap and you need to get up and get in the shower. The
yeah,
self-loving thing here might be that you need to take that walk. It might be that you need to pay yourself a compliment. It could be so many things. It could be getting yourself a coffee on the way to work. It could be offering someone else a cup of tea. Like,
mm,
it's the list is absolutely endless.
okay. But the
Really
it's the little things, isn't it?
little things that is showing yourself that you respect yourself, care for yourself, and love yourself. And if you're really not sure, ask yourself, what do I need? I can't tell you. And the reason I give that example of lying in bed is because sometimes I'm lying there feeling a bit groggy. And then I just step back and say, what do I need? What do I know could make me feel a bit better? And do you know how many times the answer is get in the shower? And then everything from there,
Yeah,
or just get out of, put your legs on the ground and stand up.
yeah. Mine's always things like go for a walk, put some makeup on,
Yes.
like just make doing something practical and physical to like make yourself feel good. And I
Mhm,
do think this is important, like especially if you are living with somebody, if you are in that relationship, like it's very easy, isn't it, to like go onto autopilot and stuff like that. One
mhm.
thing as well that's a daily habit related to this in terms of like self-love is saying thank you more, and like, when if somebody gives you a compliment, accepting it and things like that as well. Little
Mhm.
daily habits that I've been building in that
Yeah.
work.
Just you need to have your own best interests at heart, and it doesn't need to be more than 5 minutes a day. That will make a difference. It really, really will. But you have to make that decision.
Mm,
And if you can't make that decision, that's where the deeper work goes on.
yeah.
But for just a hot tip, do something for yourself. You
Yeah.
bloody deserve it.
Love that. And this might, again, the thing I'm going to suggest actually might be your 5 minutes. But for me, one of the biggest things I work on, because I am quite a critical person and I do have a tendency to like nitpick, but it's the gratitude
Mm.
and it's the looking and recognizing the positives that are here. And first of all, we can't date from a place of I hate my life, everything's shit, woe is me, all the
And
time. Like, of course,
that
we have those days, but
that
we
energy is contagious.
yeah, it is. It makes you feel like crap, right? And when you're in a relationship, again, coming from that energy, we start to like nitpick at our partner. We start to like get into that like really kind of doom and gloom. And I'm not saying dismiss your emotions when you're feeling down or bad. We need to work through that. But if you know your tendency is to kind of like look maybe a little bit at the cup that's half full, going back to that cup analogy, this is something we can really, really work on. Part of my kind of non negotiable is, like three, 5 times a week, whatever, I will spend a couple of minutes each day writing on about why I do love my life already, why it's great. Even if things aren't feeling wonderful, I will deliberately choose something to focus on that I do like. And, that is maybe one thing about my partner that I really like as well. And then that overrides, the fact that, I don't know, they didn't empty the dishwasher or I had to ask them to take the bins out or like whatever bullshit we get caught up in. And if you're single as well, one thing that can be so unbelievably positive when we're talking about changing our mindset and also our kind of thought patterns is each day focusing, if we are dating, on one good example of like where good people do exist, men or women, where you've seen an example of love, where somebody has held the door open for you or has been really helpful, or you heard a really nice thing about your friend's partner. So we want to be focusing on the kind of what's great in our day already rather than waiting for somebody else to come along, but also building that kind of positive examples and positive evidence that like love exists, and that kind of arena is open and that there are
Yeah.
good people out there.
And to fit that into the relationship as well, to look for the friggin' nice things your partner's doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
They might
So
not buy you flowers, but I was giving this example the other day. We were literally talking about the fact that my partner has no, he has bought me flowers for both Valentine's Days, but never outside of that. But you know what he'll do? Buy me a Diet Coke without me
yeah,
asking. And that to me, better than flowers.
yeah,
So
it's
look out for things. But can I say something here as well
yeah.
around actually practicing gratitude as two people that are about to have babies? Or I prop well, hopefully by the time this is out, I have mine. Very much
And I will be in your situation ready to
ready
pop.
to go. Yeah. Habit stacking talks, James Clear talks about this in Atomic Habits. And it's this idea of a habit that you already have established, you can bring another habit at that same time. So, say, for example, if you're not someone who's going to find the time to be writing down gratitude, which hopefully you and I will, possibly we won't for some
Mhm.
time, when you're brushing your teeth, that's when you think about what you're grateful for. When you're in the shower, that's when you think about what you're grateful for. Gratitude and like anxiety, gratitude and stress, they don't coexist at that exact same time.
Yeah,
So if you choose in the shower to think about what you're grateful for, you're not going to be worrying.
I love that. Or
Mhm.
make it part of your daily commute, you
Exactly.
make your cup of tea.
Exactly.
And again, if we're thinking, okay, one good thing about what you're grateful for, one good thing about your partner, what you're grateful for them about, or one good thing about like men, women, love, dating, whatever, again, do it at different points in the day.
Exactly. My next one
Yep, go for it.
is to not let yourself go onto autopilot. So I think we're very quick from the moment we wake up to just fall into yesterday's habits. And if we want to see change and we want to change our habits, getting off of autopilot is one of the things that we need to be really mindful of. So, again, thinking about some ideas, but we're just throwing it out there. It is very much a self experiment. But I would say the general idea is that you need to be able to check in each day if possible with like what's on your mind, what is
Mm,
my mood, what's my vibe this morning, am I pissed off about something, am I holding on to anything? And you can do that through journaling, you can do that over a mindful coffee, you can do that on your walk to work, again in the shower, just that check in. Is there anything on my mind and my heart right now that is going to impact my day? And that's the habit. The habit is to check in. The
love
habit
that.
isn't to fix the situation. The habit isn't anything more than just that bit of self reflection. Because if you then go into work and someone's sat in your seat, you're going to deal with that much better if well, I know that I'm stressed today.
Yeah.
Or, if someone in the supermarkets tries to start a conversation with you and it pisses you off, and it doesn't always, but you know that you've got something on your mind, you'll be like, oh yeah, I don't really have the space to make small talk today. And just that is powerful.
Really, really powerful. I love that. I guess this is to say a similar vibe, but I know when I have the days where I haven't slept or whatever, I'll look in the mirror and say, okay, Caitlin, what do you need? What do you need today? And, and a lot of the time it will be
Shower.
a shower or food or a hug or do you know what? Most recently it's been to be gentle with yourself today because you're really, really tired.
Really?
Yeah. So it's just been nice to like actually, yeah, check in, see what you need and why.
Right, and we don't ask ourselves that
Mm.
enough. Like, we're
No.
so used to saying, "How are you?" Not really even listening to the person's answer if they're even gonna share it. But we rarely say to ourselves, like, "How are you? What do you need?" 'Cause we've got a
Mm.
whole day ahead of us or a night of sleep ahead of us. So, just that checking in is such a valuable habit.
My next one is pretty different actually. It's take your bloody headphones out.
This one is really yours, isn't it? Like, this is a very when I saw that you'd written this, I was like, "This is a very personal one for Caitlin."
I know. And it's just because of the impact I know it's had on my clients who a lot of the time have very, very, very busy lives. They're in London, they're rushing about, it's this whole thing. But kind of, I say taking your headphones out is a bit of a joke, but how many times are you walking down the street with your head down, not taking anything in, you're rushing? Again, this is the autopilot thing that Carly talked about, right? The looking at yourself and actually slowing down, connecting with where you are, who's around you, maybe even looking at what's going on around you. I don't know, smiling at somebody that passes you by, like having that little pocket of time where you're already out and about to be present, I think can be very, very powerful.
The present, so there's something about being present that's in that habit as well.
But it's being out and about, and it's like if you are present when you're out, you automatically slow down.
Okay, so it's out the house.
Yeah, it's being out the house, it's connecting with people. You're rather than having your head down, listening to, music, rushing about, you're taking 1 second longer to
Mm,
see the trees that are around you or smile at the little old lady who's walking down the street. And again, this is habit stacking, right? How many times are you out and about a day rushing?
yeah, and I guess the next tip here can link into, you probably see a theme in really what we're saying, but I don't want to miss it basically.
Mm.
So this is part of joy. So something I think that we really dismiss, and actually I can really see it in the one that you just spoke about and the habit of the 5 minutes each day. But something that we overlook is joy. We overlook play. We overlook having fun. And I think if you can bring in a habit each day, which just looks at that lighter side of life, or no, sorry, it doesn't have to be each day here. This could be like looking at your week, maybe.
Yeah,
Just looking at, if I am I in a regular routine of checking that I'm having some fun, and not the kind, listen, have fun in whatever way you want, but not the kind of fun that puts you in a high now and then sad tomorrow. Like the kind of joy, the kind of fun that you walk away with your soul lit up, feeling like, I don't know, just that feeling of awe, like you get it from a sunset, you get it from nature, like you were just saying, you get it from being around certain people. I would
yeah,
get it from going to like a self-love circle. It's a different kind of joy. What I'm thinking is I used to get my highs and joy from going out, getting pissed, and then feeling awful the next day.
yeah.
It's not to say that's not it, because I've had many times where I come away from that as well feeling whole, but I guess it's just checking in with what it is that brings you joy. And does it leave you feeling whole? Does it leave you feeling like you have fed your soul? So the habit here is just look at your week and just ask yourself, am I feeding my soul?
I love the idea that you mentioned of play because
Yeah.
I do think we, again, getting stuck in the main day and getting stuck in our lives, like we forget how great it can feel to like dance around the kitchen on our own to a bit of music or, you know, ride a bike really fast over the speed bumps or whatever it might be that
What?
allows, I know, I did it the other day and I was like, this is great. That allows you to like, I
But you're
don't,
saying that is something to do, the riding a bike over the speed bumps?
yeah, like last summer I was like, used to like go to yoga on my bike and I'd like ride really fast over this speed bump and like my tummy would get the dip.
Oh my God, I don't even cycle, so that's why that.
No, I only cycle since I moved to a tiny village. There's no way I cycle in London or anything like that. But again, that was my experiment of like, okay, maybe it's more related to like in child work and stuff, but like allowing myself to be playful. What did I do as a kid? Oh, I'd ride a bike.
Yes.
Things like
Okay,
that.
yeah, 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 totally. I think that's such a good question if you do want to connect with play, isn't it? Is what did I enjoy as a kid?
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
find it really difficult because I'm probably more of like a serious person. Like, I don't do a lot of like dancing around the kitchen or like being silly. So like when me and like Liam have a water fight and stuff like that, like it makes me, it's just that lightness as you were talking about. But
Yeah,
yeah, what connect play, connect what feeds your soul.
love it.
Last one then is I would say this is quite an interesting daily habit, and I think it's this one to maybe stop, and
Yes.
it's going to be quite difficult, maybe. Or
But it's
if
life changing. I genuinely, sorry, I'm going to give you a little
yeah,
lead up, little drum roll for this one. This is something I forget it all the time, but I put it into practice. And at one point, me and my colleagues had a jar
mm,
where we would put each other's names in it if we were doing this too much.
okay. So it's stop moaning and gossiping
Hmm.
and talking shit.
Yeah, it's quite toxic for you. And we do bond over it. We
Yeah, we
do
do.
bond.
I'm so bad because I love a gossip and
I know.
it just like, it's, yeah, it doesn't really make you feel great, does it? Do you know what it is? It's like sometimes a gossip is a gossip, but like when it gets into bitching, moaning, criticizing, colluding, what are those five C's? Um, all that sort of stuff that really brings your energy down. Would you want to go on a date with somebody who was always kind of criticizing or moaning or talking about how shit dating was? Would you want to be in a relationship if that was the energy you came home to all the time? Probably not, but most of us do this multiple times a day on a daily basis.
Yeah, and do you know what that reminded me of? Is someone, if you're on a date with someone and they're moaning, criticizing, complaining about an ex or something, I'm like, ugh,
Yeah,
red
yeah.
flag.
Yeah, it makes you like, you're automatically like, oh. And also, what's so interesting is like, so many people say what they want in somebody else is somebody with a positive energy and a positive outlook. But we've really got to get accountable here and take a big fat look in the mirror. And I'm talking me and you as well.
Yeah,
But
I
like,
know.
yeah, how many times a day are we criticizing or complaining?
And you
Or,
just sometimes I've caught myself sometimes being like, I'm actually just complaining. And to the point where I'm like, I don't even know if I agree that much with what I'm saying.
yeah, yeah.
I'm just actually complaining.
And I think it's really toxic when we're in the dating sphere where you're all colluding about how shit dating is and
Mhm.
how crap like men or women are, or how rubbish the apps are and things like that, because it gets into, and I know it can feel really good and I know it can feel great to feel understood and like you're part of a community who's going through the same thing, but I do think it gets to that point where it's kind of that sort of
Yeah.
sisterhood of like, us against them. This is really hard. Love isn't for me. It kind of supports those quite ingrained beliefs sometimes.
Yeah. And just be like, observe your partner, observe your friends. If you're constantly moaning, complaining as soon as you walk through the door or whatever it is, observe what happens to the conversation. Because you might find that they get fully involved with you and then you're both just feeding off each other. You might find that they switch off because they're just like, oh God, just don't need this.
Yeah.
I've just had a long day myself.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
and of course like there's a time and a space to hold like space for your friends who genuinely do need to vent and who shitty things have
That's not, yeah.
happened.
We're not
But
saying that.
but yeah, like check your daily habit of what is coming out your mouth.
Check yourself. It's a lot of checking yourself in this episode.
Yeah, I know.
But
But
no,
guys,
I think it's a really
yeah,
important one. It is a little bit confronting, I know.
yeah.
We're all gonna do it a little bit. There's a healthy side to it, et cetera, but just check it.
Yeah. And look, guys, we've given you sort of what, 6 tips here. Y- You're not going to do all of them every day. So maybe pick 1 or 2 to implement and start on that have actually, resonated with you a little bit more and gone, oh, okay, I like the sound of that. Yep, I do that. Oh, no, I don't do that. Pick 1 or 2 and build it into your day or your week and see what happens. See how your energy changes.
Perfect. Just tell them about Glow.
Yeah, so at the end of each little podcast now, we are talking about our amazing program Glow because it's actually the only thing we do together. So if you find us helpful on a podcast together, you will definitely find us helpful in this. But it is our 5-week program where we are really getting to grips with self-esteem, self-confidence, how we can stop being horrible to ourselves, how we can really build the foundation for healthy relationships and for healthy dating experiences. And of course, that is all wrapped up in our self-esteem. So the waitlist is open at the moment. So please go check out all the details in our show notes because we're going to be running our second course, our second time running it, which we cannot wait for. So yeah, go check it out, guys, basically. And please rate, subscribe, review,
Do all
tell
the
your
things.
friends, do all the things.
And we will see you back here soon.